One of the things that I've never forgotten, and another difficult segue, was the Montreal Screwjob.
Yeah.
Back with you and Bret the Hitman Hart, who I consider to be one of the best of all time. And when I name my best of all time, you and him are always neck and neck. And I just thought the world of his work. And of course, you blew me out of the water. Back, you know how competitive we are. It's just the same as professional athletes. You'll give a guy props, but you kind of just do it sparingly, you know. So your deal was back then, you know, when I hadn't met you yet, I was like, yeah, he's a high spot artist, blah, blah. He's a high spot artist, you know. It's kind of like trying to, he's good, but yeah. Then all of a sudden you got him, you work with you, and it's like, never mind, he's that good. You know, that's the kind of thing. With Bret, how competitive was the dynamic between you guys?
Well, it started out not very competitive. We were friends. The respect was there, very mutual.
But you guys were on the middle of the card because it was the big man era was still going on.
But even when he got the championship, I mean, I was very happy for him because we felt like it was a turning over, a new beginning. And he always, heck, when he and I had a conversation, he always said, "Look, I see you being the next guy." From my perspective, I guess that me being the next guy happened sooner than he wanted it to, or that he thought it should. Now, having been on the other side of that, I understand that. Having to face that there's a guy that's, doing better than you and drawing money and drawing ratings, tough pill to swallow.
So going into Montreal, what was the deal going into that night? Straight up.
Uncomfortable. Well, I mean, again, now first, you got to go back to whatever, it's like the Wednesday where the subject first gets broached of like, and of course I don't bring it up. I'm, like everybody's sort of dancing around there, and then finally Hunter blurts out.
But you're getting the fact, hey man, he don't want to do it. He don't want to do it.
Yeah. Well, Vince is telling me. Yeah, and it's like, all right, well, I mean, whatever. I mean, because at the time I'm not grasping. Like I'm getting the whole like, yeah, he could leave, but I mean, he says he's going to come to Monday and do that, and. And of course I see there's not value in that. That's as a company and all that. I get all that, but it's like, okay, but like what? I mean, it's it's $1 million question. Like, okay, but what do you want to do about that? And of course, he doesn't want to say it. And I always, you can think 10 miles to Sunday about it, but I think he was waiting for somebody to bring it up.
Right.
And so that Hunter did. Hunter's words were, if he doesn't want to do business, maybe we should do business for him.
Interesting.
You know what I mean? And Vince says, well, what are we talking about here? We're talking about going there? And of course, I'm just like, I mean, I guess I'll do whatever you want.
You're the guy trapped in the middle.
It sucked.
Yeah.
I mean, so, again, even with all of our differences, it ain't an enviable place to be in.
No.
It's one thing, again, we had personal problems with each other.
Yeah.
The whole nother thing to live it all out on a pay-per-view frickin' TV.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to do that. You know what I mean? And so it's not like, oh gosh, could I?
Yeah.
It isn't like that. So there's nothing until Saturday, and then there's the production meeting. And of course, we come in at the end of the production meeting and they're dismissing it and all that kind of stuff. And then all of a sudden everybody's gone and it's just me, Vince, and Jerry Briscoe and Hunter. And then of course it's like, okay, well, I'm still going to try tomorrow to talk to him, but if it doesn't happen, we're going to think of an alternative. We're going to have to, he can't leave the building with that belt.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay. So then we go down with Jerry, and Jerry's just sort of mapping out, like, hey, like if this goes down, I'm like,
logistics.
Yeah, I mean, look, we don't, and as you know, you don't know what the match is. I mean, right now, all you know is that right now we're talking about it being a double disqualification.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So all day people are coming to me like, what's going on? I'm like, I don't know. And of course, nothing can happen until you go over the match. First, Bret wants to talk, and we go and we have a long talk, and it's one of the best talks we've ever had. And we end up shaking hands when it's all over with. And of course, inside I know what's going on. I'm like, oh God, this sucks. Oof. What are the chances that they set up this thing, and the only place that the possibility to end the match is me having him in his maneuver?
So you're saying you saw the trap there?
I saw I saw that was the spot where you can ring the bell.
So then what you do? You go to Vince and say, hey man, here's where we go.
This is the only spot. This is the only spot we've got to do it.
So was your idea?
Well, I just said, look, I put him in the sharpshooter. You got to ring the bell. Right. I said, either that or it's it's going to be some place where I got to hold him down. What if
All right, you go in the match. You guys have had a million matches before. Boom, you turn him over to the sharpshooter. I mean, he's there for a second. Baby Earl's, signaling for that bell. What's going through your mind?
I don't even remember. I mean, everything was just so. I mean, Vince came out. I see him there. It was a very uneasy feeling. It just isn't. I imagine it's. I don't know. I've always been like those mob movies where you got to go in and shoot your buddy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even though you might have had differences or whatever, he's still a colleague or whatever. Yeah. I mean, it felt like that. And then, of course, what bothered me more than anything, I'll say this: what bothered me more than anything is Vince was adamant that I deny it, that he wanted to take responsibility for it, and I could not convince him. Like, dude, you're not going to,
right? Because
you're Vince. No one's going to blame you, and even if they do, they're going to do it quietly. They're going to blame me.
Yeah,
it's going to go on me. Well, no, I want to take it. I was like. Honestly, what bothered me more than anything was having to deny it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because the boys figured you were on the take.
Yeah.
I mean
that's the thing. At least it's much easier to stand there to me and go, yeah, I knew, and get punched in the face. At least it's out.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'll give Bret this. I mean, all the years later, he knew, and that's one of the things that was what made even the reconciliation so nice is that he knew. It took him a lot of years to figure that out, but it's like, Shawn carrying that burden wasn't fun, and it wasn't.
Right.
That's the thing. We had our differences, but we never hated each other. You know what I mean? And that, and so, I don't know. It would have been much nicer to be able to tell him the truth. I'd have slept better knowing that. I guess. It just wasn't fun.
How long did that really eat on your nerves? After that, what did you always bear that burden until y'all had the reconciliation?
Well, you know what I mean.
Or did you just say, hey, man, okay, after a week, it's time to move on, and get down the road?
Well, as you know, this business moves so fast. You don't have a lot of time to dwell on stuff.
No.
After I left and went home, and again, my faith and all that other stuff. I mean, I did have to reconcile that stuff within myself. And like I said, that's why the first time they came down and did like a show, I said, look, I'm gonna say that I knew. I gotta get it out.
Get his load off.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And so it took another 10 years after that for him to get to a place where he felt comfortable. But it meant a lot to me to get it out there, and whatever heat people wanted to dump on me. I was like, that's fine with me, man. As long as I got it off my chest, I feel better.